Production. Not only is she one of Britain's greatest ever comedians, she's also one of the nicest too. Please welcome the one and only Dawn French. Hello.
Although I was admiring a little bit of buff going on in yours.
Oh,
there.
it doesn't look like this when I walk in.
I want to know what's under that. I need the secret of that.
We're all backcombed within an inch of our lives.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Excellent. Now, it's not very often that I say this to people, but may I admire your ring?
You may. It's my new ring. You might want to get a close-up of it.
What does it say? Fantastic.
Well, it's a little ring to do with the book.
It's Dear Silvia.
You're a very clever lady. To be fair, you couldn't be lugging that around, could you? You could.
And I will.
And you will. And you will. Tell us a little bit about Oh, Dear Silvia. What's it about?
Well, this is my second novel, and Silvia is my central character, and I decided to have a central character who doesn't speak at all. I don't know why I've done that, a bit of a challenge to myself. So I had Silvia come off a balcony at the beginning of it, and we're not quite sure why, so that's revealed during the book.
Balcony.
Well, did she? Oh. And for the rest of the book, she is in a coma.
Right.
And so the doctors say that her friends and her relatives must talk to her. So the whole book is her family and her friends coming into the room in the sort of present tense, talking to Silvia, trying to wake her up and saying all the things they want to say. You know, when you've got a bit of limited time with someone, you speak to them in a way that is different to any other time you would speak to them. You say things that need to be said. And so we find out things about Silvia via all her family. And at the centre of it, Silvia's got a very big, dark secret. And so we gradually find out all about her. And I suppose I'm trying to say that we are all many things to different people, actually. But this book is really about love and the loss of it, and it's about forgiveness, really.
Does someone actually say, I'm sorry for pushing you off that balcony?
So we don't know if somebody pushed her off the balcony just yet.
Dawn, where does that idea come from? I'm always curious with novels and things. Was it just something that came to you?
Do you know really what it was? Is that I wrote a memoir, and I wrote that in the form of letters, so I'm always speaking directly to people with the writing. And then the first novel I wrote in diary form, again, speaking very internally and very directly. And my editor had said to me, you know, one day you're going to have to kind of grow up and write a book with big chapters, with dialogue, where people actually talk to each other. That might be quite good. I thought, oh, yeah, so maybe I ought to do that. And I thought, actually, no. This is what I do. My voice is my writing voice, if you like, is going into character. Yeah. You would know about that. You know, it's what I'm most at home with. And I like to become the character for the whole chapter. So I've written monologues, really.
There are a lot of characters in there, aren't there?
There are.
Yeah.
9
and
different characters.
And very diverse as well.
Yeah, they are. There's lots of different accents.
Because, I mean, there's some people who are fairly sensible and some people who really aren't.
No, there are some mad people in there. It is quite funny, this book, I hasten to add. And in fact, when we did it as an audio book, I had to get 9 other actors in to help me because there are so many different voices in there. Accents, exactly.
Jamaica, Indonesia.
Yeah. Irish,
and a 4-year-old kid.
Yeah, there's a little 4-year-old. Actually, that was amazing on the audiobook because maybe I shouldn't tell you this.
Oh, no, go on.
I will. Yeah. Don't tell anyone else.
We'll all gather. It's fine.
But when you need a 4-year-old to speak on a book, a lady who's I don't know her exact age, but certainly a grown-up, certainly past her 30s, it does the voice.
Really?
Yeah, and she's amazing at it, and she does kids that are on the arches and stuff like that. She's amazing. And initially, when David Roper, who was the guy who directed the audiobook, spoke to me about it, he said, well, we've got a grown-up who does that. I said, oh, no, I want a proper kid. But actually, what 4-year-old can really
And they can't really read all that script.
No, they can't. They can't. And they won't take direction. Yeah, she came in and she did it, and I thought she was amazing. Wow. But
That's like Lisa Simpson, though. Lisa Simpson's about 45.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow. But imagine your job being somebody that can really sound like an authentic kid. That's an interesting job. Yeah.
When you're writing, Dawn, we were talking about finding inner peace. Is that something that you do? Do you find it very very relaxing? Do you
Well,
search for inner peace? 'Cause
I'm
you seem
not
to be in
sure
a
the
good place.
writing is a peaceful thing. I find it quite, well, I find it exciting because I have a little visit to my own imagination all day. What I really love about it is controlling it. The control freak that I am, I quite like, because everything else I've done has been very collaborative. And suddenly this is something where I'm making a decision about every single thing, exactly how the sentences go together, where the commas are, where the full stops are. And I love that. So in a way, I guess, yeah, in a way, I guess that is quite a peaceful thing. Yes, it's less busy.
When you sit down to start a chapter, do you know where it's going to end? Or do you just let it all come out and let the character go where it may?
Well,
or
I
do you have
knew
a
what the
structure?
story was going to be. I absolutely knew that. But each chapter, if something occurs to me that would work, then I do
Yeah.
that. But I do write by hand, unfortunately.
Okay.
I'm a bit of a Luddite when it comes to that. I know it's rubbish, but...
And there was a lot of research, though, wasn't there? Didn't you have to do
There
a lot
was.
of research about being in a coma? And
I did, and also,
everything?
yes, I did. I went and talked to some doctors at Ealing Hospital about that. But I also chose to write characters who have jobs I know nothing about. That was stupid.
Isn't one a
That was a
woodsman,
stupid thing to-
or something?
There's a woodsman in it, and there's, well, obviously the nurse and so on, and there's a soldier, a young soldier, and I started to write his chapter. I thought, hang on, I don't know anything about being in Helmand. So then I had to stop and research that.
Well, we're going to stop just now for a quick break. You're going to stay with us
okay.
until after the break, because we're not letting you go.
Well, I want to win the competition. I want that mini.
But join us in 3 minutes. We'll be back with Dawn. With that, I'm very pleased to say Dawn French is still here with us. Hello again. Now, we were talking about your book. Let me see if I can find just in here. Right.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, Lord. There we go.
It says, for Biggs, this is the dedication at the front. For Biggs, my anchor and my true love. How long have you known Ronnie? Who's that actually for?
That is from Mark Bignell, who is my chap.
Your boyfriend.
Yes, he's my boyfriend. Gosh, that feels odd. Because he's not in this business at all, you know, so it's...
No, it's lovely. It's lovely. No, you're among women,
Yes,
you're among
yes, I
friends.
know,
we just want to say it's lovely. We're really
is
pleased
lovely.
How
with
did you meet him then?
Well, I've known him for a long time, actually. My mum knew him. You know, my mum worked for the latter half of her life with people with drug and alcohol problems. And she set up various kind of rehabs and various facilities. And she identified him very early on as a great therapist and somebody that she wanted to take over in one of the places. And so he's the CEO of one of those places. So I'd known him for a long, long time, but hadn't really seen him, you know, the way I wasn't looking. I was married, so I wasn't looking. And then suddenly I wasn't married. And I wasn't looking. No, I wasn't actively looking. In fact, for this book, I had to research one of the characters. I don't want to give too much away, but he was the right person to help me with the research. And it was at the end of that that I thought, ooh, look at him.
Oh,
he's
you're
nice.
quite nice.
Yeah,
You,
nice.
you are absolutely glowing.
Yes, you
Oh,
are.
you're just oozing happiness right now.
I'm having a baby. No, I'm not. No, I'm not having a baby. I'm so not having a baby. Yes, it is. Well, I'm certainly very happy. That's that.
Because you've been through a
it's
tough
great.
year. I've related quite a lot to you recently because I came out of a long marriage, you know,
Yeah.
for 24 years. And
Yeah.
also we both lost our mums this year.
Yeah.
That must have been difficult, was it, writing
Well, you know, I
that?
started writing this book about this woman in a coma, and I've been doing that for the best part of a year before my mum got sick. And in fact, my mum's illness was very quick, and she was in the hospital going in and out of coma. And I remember one day she woke up and she said, "Why aren't you writing?" And I said, "Mum, I'm here with you." And she said, "Yeah, but look where we are. This is your research. This is exactly it." So in a weird way, she gave me permission to put everything about that experience in that book, and it is in that book, and it's hard to write.
And how lovely to be with Mark, who obviously knew your mum and had a good friendship
knew
with her as
very
well.
well, and she loved him very much, and she was very happy about it. She said, "I can go because you've got him now." So,
That makes such a difference.
So that means I'm stuck with him now.
And is it true that he had gone through life blinkered and not seen Dawn French on the telly?
That is true. Yes, he had. Well, he just doesn't really watch the telly. He's the sort of bloke who'd rather be hanging a door, you know, than watching the telly. I mean, he knows the work that I'd done and stuff, but it just not really up his
Do you think he's
Strasser,
Do
really.
you think he's been in prison for 20 years?
Do you know him as far as I know? No, he hasn't been in
Okay.
prison.
But everybody watched The Vicar of Dibley.
Everybody.
Well, I think his mum and dad did, but I don't think he did. I swear to God, he's just not a TV watcher.
That's quite nice, though, isn't it, when you
Yeah.
meet
It is,
someone
totally.
genuinely like that. What about this new sitcom you're doing? You've got a new one with June Brown?
Oh, gosh, goodness, yes. Well, that is Sue Perkins' sitcom.
Yeah.
She's written it and June is in it. And I've just did a couple of days on it. I just turn up a little cameo on it because I love Sue so much and it's very funny.
And you've got back together with Jennifer for a sort of, is it a 30 years on comic strip
It
presents?
is. It's the famous five all over again. I can't believe it. Can't believe we were back in the shorts and on a saddle of a bike again. Very unwise. That's why I'll never have a baby. It's called Five Go to Rehab.
Oh, brilliant. I can't wait. When's
Ironic.
it going out?
I just ironic, yeah. Mark's there for your
Yeah,
research.
exactly. Exactly.
And
It's been very
is
useful.
your first novel coming out as a film now as well?
Well, we're talking about making TV out of that. So we've
fantastic.
got lots
Tiny
of
bit
decisions to make about how it works and stuff, but definitely we will do it, yes.
Oh, Dawn, it's really fabulous to have you on the
Oh,
show. And
thanks
nice
for
to you
having
are
me.
glowing
Thank
in
you.
all the right ways.
Cheers.
Dawn
Thank
French,
you.
everyone.